choice in a must-win game. And it's handshakes, and we're off with the Armageddon.
We're off with the Armageddon. We see a handshake in Magnus against Abdusattorov, and it looks like E4 opening here.
And something else we noticed is somebody checking off move numbers. Why is that important, everybody? At move 60, their increment begins. They get 1 second added per move. So you see people standing with score sheets just checking off each move that's played.
Important stuff, and the players will be looking over. They will be seeking reassurance later that they are gaining that increment at move 60. And in the meantime, some very quick moves. Almost a replica of their earlier game, Magnus here. I'm really surprised, I've got to say, playing right down the line that gave Nodirbek a draw earlier in the day. I think he just wants another long maneuvering battle, Magnus Carlsen, but no surprises here. Nothing new under the sun in this one, as both players getting off to a fast start.
It seems like they're very familiar with one another, and you see Nodirbek doing his patented stare. He looks up at Magnus and what do you want from me? Now Magnus is the one on the clock, so Tanya, in the early stages, it seems like, even if we haven't looked at the position yet, advantage in favor of Nodirbek.
Especially because Magnus is the first to slow down. And the one thing when you're playing against Magnus is you cannot allow that to get into your head, the fact that you're playing against world number one. And I think that's exactly what this younger generation does so well. And of course, one of them...
Kind of accelerated rook lift in that one with a white rook landing on h5, but we'll get to that. This is Magnus Carlsen against Abdusattorov, and quiet stuff. I did check, we're now at move 20. For the first 16 moves, this was an exact replica of their earlier game, but Nodirbek was the first one to launch a surprise, putting the black knight on b6, forcing Magnus to think. And in the meantime, we look at the clock. It's about a 3.5 minute difference here, so less than it was to start the game. It looks like Abdusattorov in his comfort zone.
There's some tactical opportunities for sure later in the game if white plays knight d5, opening up that bishop to slice across the board. But what I like about Magnus's position is the knight on b6 is restricted by the pawn on b3. A pawn 3 squares away from a knight usually wins that showdown. And you see Nodirbek, he is thinking on Magnus's clock.
Yeah, he's thinking on Magnus's clock, and I think the last move that he made is the rook lift to d7. We see it on our live board right now, and Magnus is the one with head in hand trying to figure out a way forward. And I think the idea that Nodirbek has here is to try to transfer the queen to the king side with queen e8 and queen g6, and that's why Magnus is going for this queen side break, creating chances on the other flank.
He's trying to open up the position, trying to at least for the first time make Abdusattorov think here. Is starting to get tactical. It's really coming to life, this position. I've said it before, Armageddon chess, there's two strategies with white. Either you go really direct, really test your opponent from the off, or you keep as many pieces on the board as possible and only later change the pace of the game. Magnus has gone for that latter strategy. Finally, he is initiating some
Nodirbek Abdusattorov. Magnus has to win as he is playing with the white pieces. And we see there head in hands for Nodirbek.
I also see no pieces for black. Like, I see what he's doing, but I don't see where his pieces are, and it looks like it's a rook endgame actually, where white is 2 pawns ahead. This has shades of Carlsen-Lazovic from the first match.
Yeah, big shades there. He was 2 pawns up as well, and not all rook endgames are drawn. This is an exception as well. White simply has too many connected pawns, too many passed pawns, and this at the elevated level these players play at is elementary stuff. White's king is simply going to join the party now. He's going to centralize Magnus. He's the king of endgames, as everyone knows. And okay, first he targets this weak black e-pawn. As long as he leaves himself with 2 extra pawns, ideally connected, Magnus is guaranteed to win this one. And look at the clock as well. Hope slipping away, hope fading now for Abdusattorov. Hopefully we get time later. There were some highlights, some tactics earlier in this game, but Magnus, full control.
When is Magnus not in control?
It's rare. Occasionally happens.
Occasionally happens, but not today, as he takes down another youngster. What a day it's been for Magnus Carlsen. What a start it's been for Magnus taking it in the Armageddon against Nodirbek Abdusattorov. A confident win with a white there. We still have action on in the other boards.
Some big action, actually, dramatic stuff elsewhere as Magnus wraps up his win here. And I have no doubt he's going to go and check out those other boards right now.
And we should go check out the other boards as there we see Magnus walking past and having a look at the other Armageddons, and Hikaru against Maxime. I saw a little head shake there by Hikaru.
Hikaru looks very upset with himself. It's something we've